on, babies.
I hope if I turn my camera on.
Thank you, Irene.
Oh, lunch bill's great. Boys, why do you say we start the show?
Sounds great.
Feels
Richard.
like an extra simple-minded sports show today. We got Billy Vacation already half in the bag, and Ray's slower than usual, it feels like.
Oh, it is early. I just cracked open my first beer.
There you go. It's not loose enough yet. Well, allow me to get it going with opening takes.
We know Irene is.
I don't even know if Bill has an opening take. Keep throwing one-liners out. Here's my opening take. Bill Belichick never lost his fastball. Everyone wanted to crumble down. America loves to build people up. What they love more is to tear people down. That was their opportunity last year for Bill Belichick and the Patriots. However, now that the Patriots are first in the AFC East, third in the AFC Conference, and look like a team to be reckoned with, just 1 year removed from Tom Brady leaving, I look at last season and say it was a fucking miracle they didn't lose every single game with the rosters that
7
they had.
wins.
And I give it all the credit to Bill Belichick. And anyone said that he was dead or was losing his touch, I think he's proving now that that is not the case.
Nay.
His GM duty might have fucked him a little bit for the last couple of years, but he knew that what he wanted to do. He knew the team he wanted. We saw it in 2018 when they won the Super Bowl 3 years ago, for everyone saying that Belichick lost his fastball. So I don't think he did. I think he's still humming him in there at 98.
I want to kind of piggyback off yours. My take is Bill Belichick, the GM, deserves some credit here. You know, again, kind of back up what you're saying, where he's been shit on, a couple bad drafts, some bad free agent signings, and a lot of it was linked to last year, where you're kind of seeing basically what the Bruins did, which is get bargain basement guys just to kind of fill roster needs and get to this year. Then you're looking at the draft with Barmore, Mac Jones, Stevenson, and then obviously Judon, Godchow, even say what you want, Jalen Mills is playing a big major role, out of position, no fault of his own, but he's stepping up to play a major role. But Bill as the GM kind of you grade is A plus, B, B plus, A minus role, just the GM role, which is we haven't seen in the last couple of years, and a lot of that was masked by Tom Brady. But now Brady's gone, GM this past year is spot on. I mean, he's hit.
It's shaping up to be one of his best.
And Duggar going back to last year too in the draft.
Seasons. I mean, probably going back to that 01 off season where he brought all of his veterans in. Honestly.
23 new guys, I think it was total.
Yeah. Judon might be the best. He honestly might be the best free agent.
Best signing ever, because I've been thinking of that, but I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to jinx it that it's too early. But
fair enough. I mean, Stephon Gilmore might be if we can go Rodney Harrison, maybe we can certainly go through that on another day. But Raymond, why don't I throw the opening take over to you if you feel like switching it up at all?
No. I want to piggyback off both of your takes. So if you've been a lifelong listener for us over the past year and a half, you would know that we did a 16-month calendar of all the Billy characters. Lo and behold, we have found the worst one of all. It's a mashup between the Queen and Billy Badwords. It is Billy Vacation, the most insufferable cunt I've ever met in my entire life. The absolute worst character of all. Billy Vacation. And for the next 3 shows, listeners, you get to experience what we've been experiencing since last Friday. Is just a ball full of cunt, and is my way or the highway. Off with your fucking heads.
You're just so easy to get under your skin. It's like, what? I don't give a fuck.
No, you are pretty terrible.
I swear to God, 90% of the time is because I know it makes Ray annoyed. So I'm like, well, fuck this. Or you annoy me, Rich. If I know I'm annoying you guys, I go in extra heavy.
I know it's hence the I think Ray threw down 2 or 3 C's in that little tirade. I think it's Vacation Bill. It's short, and it's not Billy Vacation because there's no playfulness here. He's just a full-on asshole. Vacation.
I'm on vacation from work. All right.
I like how you preference it from work. Like, what else would you be on vacation from? Sucking dick. We'll be touching on that a little bit. The show breakdown will clearly
never on vacation from sucking dick.
We will be touching on the Patriots Falcons game last Thursday. That ridiculous performance of football by the Falcons. Are the Patriots the best team in the AFC? Look at that a little bit. The Celtics are winning. Their Celtics are winning basketball games.
Jaylen Brown back tonight as we record.
Bruins are not really winning games, especially
fired on Sweeney.
Especially going up against their old goalies that they should have kept. They're getting shut out. That's the show today. Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show, Fat Tuesday edition, November 23rd. This will be our last recording before Thanksgiving. So a happy Thanksgiving to you all, except for Kyrie Irving. Welcome to the show.
Tomorrow's show.
The last recording, you fuck.
I don't want to say happy Thanksgiving. We're going to record 3 times tonight. Well, fine. You can say happy Thanksgiving next show.
Okay, thank you.
None of these.
And I'll say it and I'll say it the other one.
Yeah, but no one's going to believe you, Bill. If you want some Thanksgiving cheer, head on down to White Birch Brewing in Nashville, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Get on down, enjoy a turkey sandwich and a beer down there.
I'm sure you fatty already eaten.
I'm sure that they'll conjure something up for you. Check out some football. They got the big screen at the brewery. If you can't get to the brewery, check out your local beer store. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you White Birch Brewing. Let's start Patriots.
Fried variety you munching on currently, Raymond?
Ritz peanut butter crackers.
Oh. All right, I'll take it back.
We are a couple hours early from our normal recording time, so Ray's playing a little catch up. Playing a little catch up. How many snack bars do you have in your house?
Don't say ketchup.
How many what? No, I do ketchup and mayonnaise together.
Of course you do.
Isn't that like Italian? Isn't that like no, it's never mind. It's some kind of dressing. Thousand Island, isn't that?
Thousand Island's kind of like that, yeah.
With a little bit of relish in it.
Relish and mustard. You have to mix all 4 of them together.
I'm not
with ketchup, right?
The bottom of the totem pole dumb on this one.
And his condiments.
Yeah. No. Right. How many snack drawers do you have?
I have a
that you
cupboard.
Can tell us about.
I have a cupboard.
Okay. The Indian in the cupboard. Let's start. Let's go. Let's dial this back to last Thursday. The Falcons get shut out by the Patriots. The 13th shutout in Bill Belichick's career. That seemed low.
No, with the Patriots.
Okay. Well, what do you have?
Still seems low.
How many did he have with the Browns? Couldn't have had much more.
I don't know. Okay. I didn't look it up.
Either way, the Falcons are fucking terrible. But how good is this defense? And how good can it be? Give you some stats here from the game. 165 total yards, 125 passing, 40 rushing. This is for the Falcons now, of course. 3.2 yards per play. You had 4 interceptions from 3 different quarterbacks. McCourty, Van Noy, Phillips, J.C. Jackson got on the board. Van Noy also had 2 sacks. Gottschall got a sack. Judon got a sack. Just a good game all around. I thought Van Noy stood out. Kyle Duggar stood out in pass coverage against Kyle Pitts, their tight end, the only guy that really catching that team. And the defense continues to get better every day and swarming. Say what you want about the Falcons, but a shutout in the NFL is still a shutout. It's tough to do. And
first time
Belichick only having 13 of them.
Yeah, and first time Atlanta's been shut out at home, I believe, since the 80s. So, I mean, it's hard to get a shutout in the NFL nowadays, especially where you've seen teams, Patriots included, go to that prevent defense. And then win against the Chargers, J.C. Jackson gave it the late touch, or Jalen Mills gave it the late touchdown. When in a prevent defense, they basically welcome you to score. So, I mean, the defense is rolling, and it's what kept you in the game. You're not going to win too many games like this with the way Mac Jones and the offense was playing. They were sluggish all night. Again, it's a short week. It's the first time he's really played on the Thursday night game. But, again, he did just enough. What was he, 22 of 26, 202 touchdown, and a very, very bad interception. He took his first read, and it threw a bad pick. Again, the defense kind of bailed him out. I mean, defense came to play. I don't think the offense was as crisp as we've seen in the past couple games. But, again, traveling on the road on a short week and you're pitching a shutout. I mean, that's a solid game all around.
Talk about that real quick, though. You talk about the offense not being struggling. The rushing game was awesome. Rushing game was back at it once again. It's just Mac Jones. And like you've said all along, Richard, this team is going to go as far as Mac Jones lets it go. So,
but he didn't need to be good. He didn't need to be good on this short week, honestly. Again,
but he can't do that against Tennessee. He can't do that against Tennessee. He's got to play above average against Tennessee in order for him to win.
He can when you had Harris, 65 yards, and I believe Stevens had 69 yards.
Nice.
You had a balanced running attack. Brandon Bolden didn't really show up much in this game again, it's kind of back-to-back games. But yeah, if you're running the ball and you're playing good defense, you just saw Tennessee go up and get, beat probably the biggest upset of the year now against the Texans, where the Texans, but that game was a lot more out of hand than that score showed. I think it was a 10-point game.
Little stat for you, Billiam. No team has ever lost
since the 50s. The first team to the lower seed at home or something this late in the season since the 50s. Yeah, but I mean, this defense. I mean, this defense is going to carry you, and the defense. If Matt could just kind of just dink and dunk his way and just count on the running game, it's good. But again, you need him to make the big throws to bail you out on it when your defense doesn't show up.
Right. How real is the defense?
Not schedule driven.
Are they getting propped up a little bit? They're now first in points allowed at 16.1, and they are third in yards allowed at 313.2. They took a jump in those categories against, obviously coming off a shutout against the Falcons. You've played the Jets in this 5-game stretch. You've played, some beat up teams in the Browns. I guess my question is, are they as good? Is the Patriots defense as good as it looks on paper and has looked the last couple of weeks?
I believe so, because you also played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys, who are putting up points left and right. I mean, Dallas has hit a wall right now, but in the early part of the season, they were one of the best offensive teams.
They put up 34 against you, 35.
They gave up 500 yards in the air against Dallas. I get that's part of my equation is, is the defense that good? I think they are. I think they've improved since Dallas and since Tampa
that's what
Bay.
I'm saying. I think they've gotten
way better. I think you're getting more consistent play from Barmore, who we've talked about, but now you're seeing it out of the other defensive linemen.
Lawrence Guy, Godchow.
The Sunday before, Godchow got a sack.
And 2 sacks and a pick.
Dietrich Wise was good, and Van Noy and Hightower to me seem like they're getting their legs back. Now, obviously, Hightower opted out last year, has been out of football for a year. Van Noy basically did the same thing in Miami. I mean, they're clearly not working.
He just collected his money and ran.
Guys get paid $50 million or something from Miami right now. But Van Noy has been showing up more and more as the games have progressed here, and he had a great game on Thursday. He had a really good game in Carolina, the game that we were at, Ray. And even Hightower, who they're not asking to do as much as they did, but you just watch when they get down into the crux of this schedule, the next 4 weeks, or they get into the playoffs. Watch where Hightower shows up in big spots. They'll start using him, I think, more like they used to do if he's got his legs underneath him. Like, kind of looks like he has. Looks like he's moving side to side a little bit better than he was earlier in the season.
Yeah, and think about too, going a little bit on the trend of the defense here. Dallas, you gave up 477 yards, I believe, in the air, which was the most in the Bill Belichick tenure as Patriots coach. But after that game, you kind of heard Devin McCourty start. We alluded to Myles Garrett last week calling out the coaching staff. Devin McCourty kind of called out the whole team, little dig at the coaching staff too. And ever since then, you've just ripped off 5 in a row, including giving up 13 total points in your last 3 games after giving up 35 or 36, whatever it was, 36 to 30. I believe that 36 to Dallas. I mean, you held Tom Brady to 17 or 16, whatever it was. I mean, the defense, hasn't been a problem all year. I mean, there was a lot of run issues, but now I think the emergence of Barmore is really solved that problem. Godchow got the quarterback for, I believe, his 5th career sack ever last week. So, I mean, and then Lawrence Guy, I think's been steady all year. So, I mean, the defense is what, the defense could be for real. But again, this 5-game stretch, the only real wins you had were Cleveland and the Chargers. Like Cleveland, but
even still
banged up offense. Go ahead.
Cleveland was a little bit banged up, and they didn't look stellar against the worst team in the league on Sunday in Detroit. Nick Chubb showed up, and I think they're a different team.
130 yards for Chubb. Yeah.
Look at the rest of the league and look at what the Patriots are doing. I know it's hard to do this when you say, well, this team beat this team and this team beat that team, but the Patriots are demolishing teams. Or sticking with the Dallas and Tampa Bay. And you're right. Dallas is the only game I can find where the defense really shit the bed. Even against Tampa, they were pretty steady. So every other team in the league, never mind the conference, are puking all over themselves and shitting the bed against teams. They're playing down to their competition, and a lot of them are losing their competition. It's just such an upset week on Sunday. top seeds were going down fucking left and right. So I just look at the Patriots, and yes, they've played some crap, and yes, they've caught some breaks. By the way, they continue to catch breaks. Tennessee game.
Tennessee, Julio gone, AJ Brown gone, Derrick Henry
gone,
good, bye-bye.
and Ryan Tannehill playing like Miami Ryan Tannehill.
Mhm.
But this is the same thing we used to say about the Patriots. They're catching breaks, but my pushback on that: are they catching breaks, or are they just dealing with the shit that every other team takes on in the attrition game of the NFL better than those other teams? James White would have crippled if James White was the Nick Chubb of the Browns and Patriots of the Browns. It would have crippled them. They wouldn't have been able to come back for something like that offensively, or at least they'd struggle like the Browns are now. I just think the Patriots do a better job of it. Credit to Bill Belichick, like I said off the top.
So do they catch breaks, or what's the outcome of a 45-7 game with Nick Chubb in it? 45,
yeah, right.
45-27,
45-21.
Yeah. 25-0 game. What's the outcome with if Patterson plays?
Yeah, you're winning by a touchdown.
You're still winning by
if
two touchdowns.
Patterson and Calvin Ridley is it's probably a 10-point loss for the Falcons, something like that.
Because they shut down Belichick's Binky and Kyle Pitts, who he ranted and raved about. That was a cross between Gronk and Tony Gonzalez, and he had 3 catches for 29 yards and was invisible for the whole game.
Kyle Duggar on him.
Last year we were
saying was going to be a biggest draft bust that Bill Belichick ever drafted.
Yeah, you hear
this
Rodney
year he's stepping up.
I know it's off topic, but Rodney Harrison came out this week. I think he was on some podcast and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to work with him this offseason. We couldn't last year because of COVID, but he's like, yeah, he needs to get a little better on tight ends, and I'm going to work with him on that. If he starts fucking getting topped by Rodney Harrison, who was a fucking beast and a stud in these early dynasty Patriots defense, like, look out for this kid. I mean, he leads the team in tackles. I think he's number 3 in special teams tackles too. So he's playing special teams, playing defense. I mean, he's, for a second-year player, he's playing all that Patrick Chung role right now, and he's taking it on and doing it.
He's better
swimmingly right now. Yeah, he's younger and he hits a lot harder.
Yeah.
Kyle Duggar from
Leo. Lee Dingham.
Loyola
Yeah,
D2 college, 2nd-round pick. That's going back into some of that Bill Belichick GM bullshit that he was pulling. Just to dial it back, I know you guys touched on the offense a little bit, but just to go to Mac Jones and the running game, like you said, Bill, a little bit of a quiet day, but a good day nonetheless. 22 of 26 for 200 yards and a touchdown is a good day for a quarterback in the NFL, especially Thursday Night Football. He did have the bad pick. It was a bad pick.
N'Keal Harry's for a touchdown. If he hits it, he was wide open for a touchdown.
I saw that play. I looked at it. I looked back at it twice. I think that outside safety was leveraging both ways. He would have hit him. I don't give N'Keal Harry enough credit.
He might not have got a touchdown, but that's still a 30, 40-yard gain that you're setting up in the red zone.
We haven't seen a lot of bad decisions by Mac Jones this year. That was certainly one of them.
In a 13-0 game, that could have swung the game. His defense to show up.
If I'm going to stretch the field into potential double coverage,
let's give props to Jonnu Smith. That was the first read. He went first read, thought he had it, and threw a bad pick underneath.
They've been trying to get fucking Jonnu Smith integrated into this offense. They've been bending over backwards to get this guy going, and he can't. I like the signing we all did. I don't know where he is in the red zone. I don't know where he is, on third downs, where they're not playing a double tight end set and using those guys in option routes and just boxing out. I've mentioned this before. They should be all over that. But, the critics you hear around Boston is Jonnu Smith just doesn't know how to play football. He's just a terrific athlete. So, I don't know. They got him for 2 more years. Hopefully they can teach him how to play football because
3.
They need him.
That was a 4-year deal.
I thought there was options on that.
Hunter Henry was the 3. He was the 4.
Okay, well, that sucks. Aguilar, I thought, had a good game, which you can't say
nice
too
touchdown.
Often.
Nice touchdown.
5 yards. They schemed up that touchdown, or it was terrible defense, one or the other. He was fucking open as you can be. But it's nice to see him have a good day, right? 5 catches, 40 yards. He was active out there. Kendrick Bourne and Myers, I think, had 4 catches too. So pretty normal of what you'd see out of the receiving core from the Patriots.
Well, it's also nice to see that these receivers and tight ends are getting, catches. Last year, it was basically Jacoby Myers, and that was it. That was Cam Newton's the only target he had because our tight ends were junk, and anyone else on the field couldn't catch the ball. So it's nice that Mac has these options to go with now. But yeah, it's nice that Nelson Aguilar is getting, catches and touchdowns right now.
Think about that. Think about the pass catchers from last year. As soon as Edelman went down, which was early, you had Jacoby Myers, That's right. That's it. That was it.
I was legit trying to think like who else. Bird.
They even faced
there?
poor James Whiteout because, well, he had a horrible offseason, off the field stuff to deal with his father dying, I think, right? But
his mom and his dad got a car crash, and one of them died, and one of them almost died.
Right? Yeah,
he was out for weeks.
And even worse than that for him probably was trying to get Cam Newton to throw him the ball accurately out of the backfield. So, what again, to the Bill GM role, what a change of scenery it's been. And it's been a lot more fun to watch, that's for sure. Except
Jonnu Smith's the only guy you missed on right now, right?
Probably. I mean, they paid out.
He's also injured. He's been injured most of the season.
And also say what you want about Jalen Mills. I think they brought him in to play safety and not a necessity with injuries. He's outside corner. He played 100% of his snaps last year at safety. His role was the hybrid role, probably safety. I think he's the Devin McCourty replacement a year before they needed it, honestly. I think that's what they brought him in for. But, I mean, I think Jonnu Smith's been the worst of the bunch. Aguilar's been average. He hasn't been worth the contract, but he hasn't been putrid like Jonnu Smith has been.
That's true. And I liked your point. I was going to make that about Jalen Mills because if he's not the McCourty replacement, then I won't give Bill credit for that because you got enough special safeties on your lineup right now in your roster that you don't need another one, especially at whatever he has 5 or 6.
But it looks like it if you look at.
I agree with you. Phillips, I think that's true. McCourty has hinted towards retirement for the last couple of years now. He may have given Bill the heads up. But yeah, we shit on him a lot this year, rightfully so. We can give him his props. It's been quiet over there in the left side.
He's played better.
Zone. For sure.
He's played a lot better. And JC Jackson's defense as a whole have been better. And again, I've said it, you've said it, Rich. Pressure with 4. Barmore, Van Noy getting up there, Judon getting out, beating double teams, one-on-one rushers, and even Hightower getting up there. I mean, you're starting got sacks out of Lawrence Guy and Gotchow. I mean, that's how this defense is going to fucking survive in this zone. And now you're letting JC Jackson get another pick off just ball hawking and being in the right place at the right time. But again, he doesn't have to lock down these receivers. He's playing off the ball, and it all depending on the rushing 4 guys. And that's why Judon right now should be top 3 in defensive player of the year right now. I think Chandler Jones might give him a run for his money down there in Arizona. But right now, for the impact on your team, the turnaround you've seen, especially coming over big money free agent, I mean, Judon's playing as defensive player of the year right now.
Ray, the only nitpick that I'll have is it seemed like they stalled up again when they got into the red zone. Nick Folk had a lot of field goals, and they keep
4 to be exact. Our Racer Dama show, 4 field goals, 2-2 to us.
Yeah, we were pretty fucking good. We were
really pretty good. Yeah, we were good on that one.
But I'm still getting a little frustrated with this sideways offense bullshit when they get to the 30, 20-yard line that McDaniels is calling up. He's gone away from it a couple games before this, but felt like he fell back into that trap this game, Raymond.
Who would be the only red zone target you have on this team?
Hunter Henry.
That's it. Jacoby Myers.
I think Aguilar can be, honestly.
But he hasn't this whole season. Hunter Henry is the only one that's the big stud that you go to in the red zone. Other than that, I mean, Jacoby Myers just scored his first touchdown. And how many yards did he have before his first touchdown? Yeah, so it's like one of those things 13, that you 15, have one guy in the red zone that they focus on. Take him out of the game plan. Who's going to score? Who's going to be the next guy up?
But to counter that point, Hunter Henry doesn't become part of the offense in the red zone until they're inside the 5 when he can catch it in the end zone. They're not even using him at all when they get to the 30s and 20. Like when they get to that in between that 30 and 20, it's like they don't have a play sheet for it. When they get inside, call it 15 yards in the 10, they like to run the ball. And they they have a couple plays set up for that with Hunter Henry and whatnot. But from that, like what do they call it? The outer red zone or whatever, from that 30 to 15, I kind of fucking hate their play calling because they don't trust Mac to throw it downfield near the end zone because the defense has shrunk. So there's a lot more room to make error. And they don't trust any of their playmakers, quote unquote playmakers, to go out there and make a play one-on-one to try and get a little bit of a chunk play, 12, 15-yard chunk play to get into the inside the red zone. So I don't know if that's something they need to improve or if they just need to grow a set of balls and try and attack a little bit more when they get there. But that's been something that's frustrated me, and I think that they've struggled with all season.
I think this goes back to Charlie Weiss and Charlie Weiss years, and all the way back then. You think about the type of wide receiver. This is what happens. You have a offense pretty reliant on your slot receivers. Go back, look in there early, the years. Look at Troy Brown's years, Ray. You can look when you have time. Deep dive. Troy Brown, Wes Welker, even Julian Edelman. I mean, Julian Edelman, you stretch a little bit, but I mean, these Danny Amendola, these guys that you had to bring them to the red zone, they weren't targeted a lot in the red zone. You try to rely more on the tight ends, and that's where the miss on Jonathan Smith's really hurting, because Kendrick Bourne is the same, the Julian Edelman type, and Nelson Aguilar, yeah, he stretches the field, but let's be real, he's more of that Edelman type. You can move him around inside, outside, in the slot, out anywhere you kind of want, but it's like it goes back years and years and years. And I mean, Josh McDaniels has been here since day one. He learned from Charlie Weiss, and it's the same fucking offense. That I think that's where the red zone struggles have always been there, but have been better because Tom Brady was there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I can see that. And finding the windows and making the right throws. Maybe they just don't trust Mac to do it, and maybe can't do it yet. But as we move on to the next segment, nice, beautiful segue. They're going to have to do it if they want to be one of the best teams in the AFC. And I ask you the question: are they the best team in the AFC as it stands right now after Week 11 and the upsets that we saw go down? Let me give you some teams and kind of the baggage that they're holding, and then you can answer. I'll go through, I don't know, whatever this is, 6 or 7 teams that I would be considered probably the best in the AFC. So right now, the Patriots are currently 3rd behind the Titans and Ravens. The Titans just lost to the fucking Texans the first time. You guys just mentioned it. The worst seed in a conference beat the best seed in the conference since the 50s. Tannehill's playing like shit. You had at home, right? You had obviously Derrick Henry's out, Julio Jones is out, now AJ Brown will be out. The Ravens, I've been calling a fraud basically since Lamar got there, but they've looked like a fraud team all season long.
Lamar was shitting his pants, by the way. I have a very, very, very dear friend of mine shit his pants this week. Made me think of you, Rich.
Ooh, I did too on the couch. Did I not send that to you guys?
Or that was the Bender boy.
No, I didn't get this.
Props to that guy. Sorry, yeah, a little shard on the couch this watching football on Sunday. The rest of the AFC North in general is just fucking soft and weak, in my opinion. The Bills lost to the Colts. They have not won 2 in a row all season or since like the first 2 weeks.
6 weeks. They haven't won back-to-back games in 6 weeks.
The Chiefs have 4 straight against some good competition, but they still don't look. Their offense doesn't look right. Their defense has actually been playing pretty well. The Chargers just aren't ready. Their coaching staff and their quarterback aren't ready, even after
good win this week, even though you blew a 27-point lead.
Yeah. And that play to win it was a blown coverage. That wasn't anything special by Herbert.
But either way, he still had 383 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he ran for 90 yards.
Agree with me or disagree? They're not ready.
No, I don't think they're ready.
They're not ready.
Colts are tough.
Hold on. I think they're not ready. Patriots are right above them. Honestly, the defense is better on the Patriots, but they're not too different of a team, which I think the Chargers have a better offense right now with 2 better receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
But the Patriots,
they're in the same mold.
I take that, and I agree with you on the field, but you add in the Bill Belichick McDaniels effect, and I think
so they're a little notch above.
Same with the Colts. I mean, the Colts are good. I mean, their run game is unbelievable. Their offensive line is unbelievable. The defense is tough. They make
JTT for MVP.
I don't trust Carson Wentz. I do not trust Carson Wentz. Their passing game is suspect, even though they got some big playmakers on there. And just this last team that had a win on Sunday, Bengals.
Hey, did I get that right this weekend? Yes, I did, Ray.
Oh, Ray, the
Bengals.
Ray, are the Patriots the best team in the AFC?
Nope. I go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are starting to get their stride back. I thought it was going to be a Super Bowl hangover for them, but yet they're starting to. That defense is coming around. I don't care about the offense. The defense was their Achilles heel. They're starting to look good. They stopped Dallas yesterday. We recorded this Monday, so yesterday. But obviously, Dallas was without their 2 wide receivers, so I don't know. But I think the Chiefs are starting to roll.
Chiefs, I like the Chiefs just because of the Patrick Mahomes factor. Their offense hasn't clicked to date, but they're pretty scary when they have. A lot of Patrick Mahomes interceptions this year have been drop passes by Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I believe it's the numbers like 5 or 6. So, I mean, they just seem like, just based on history, I mean, that offense is just scary good. I put the Patriots, I think they're a good slot in at 3rd. I think the Bills came back to earth. I think, Rich, you were right, 2-2 to you there, that the bridge, Josh Allen's came back, and now, we have talked about, I've said for numerous weeks going back to the beginning of the year, I thought Patriots going to get swept by the Buffalo Bills this year. I'm kind of reining that back. I think they're
not reining it back. You're snip snapping.
No, I'm pulling it. Yeah, snip snapping. But like, you can.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry to cut you off. Can I ask you a question? Because this is the only, and I mentioned this in a couple of shows before, wrote a blog about it. We talked about it. The only thing holding this Patriots team back from a long playoff run is Mac Jones, because we don't know what Mac Jones is completely made of yet. But let me preface it to you this way: if this was next year and he had a full year of playing basically the way he's playing right now, of good, solid football, had some good moments when he needs to, and doesn't hurt the team. If he had a year of this under his belt, would you feel confident about the Patriots as the number one team going in? Because aren't we in the same boat that it's really just the passing offense and basically Mac Jones that's holding us back to say they're the best team at this point?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have this season too, the way he's playing just through 10 games, 11 games now, right? They're a playoff team. They should make the playoffs, whether it's the division or the wild card. They should get in there, at least get a playoff game under his belt. Naturally, next year, week 11, 7-4, say you have theoretically the same stretch. If everything's the same, hell yeah, you feel more confident because he's at least gone through the grind.
Okay.
Right?
So,
I go ahead.
But doesn't it also help you that he went to Alabama, though, and had a tough grind there in the SEC?
No, the fucking college shit doesn't
college
help me when it comes to the unfold at all. And when any of these guys
let Bill answer first next time, please. Thank you.
I would have said the same thing. It's college.
Alabama stuff is he wasn't blown away with the rigorous approach that Bill Belichick has, because probably
or the offense too.
All of that is a preference, and tell you that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC, and they're about to show you this over the next month.
Sound like Raymond,
because Mac Jones is about to prove to you that he's the same guy against good competition and bad competition. And if the Patriots defense and special teams and O-line and can all play as consistently as they're playing right now, that group of football they're playing better than any other team in the AFC. The only question mark is Mac Jones, and I just have confidence not in just Mac Jones but McDaniels in the offense to put up 24 points, and I think that's basically all they'll need on a week-to-week basis. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win out. The defense might have a bad day, but in the grander scheme of things, with everything that the Patriots are doing well, they're playing the best football in the AFC right now, and that's why I call them the best team.
Yeah, they have the best team, and they don't they're not making mental mistakes like these other teams are either. Like you watch
still have the
games,
penalty issue. They had 5 penalties and against the Falcons. There's a couple, some bonehead plays still going on. Again,
but go late in the season though.
Go ahead.
Go late in the season though. Who are you going to trust, Belichick or any other coach in this league?
Yeah, right now, Mac Jones is a healthy, a comparison to a healthy Alex Smith with a better coach. Prove me wrong right now, because they're dink and dunk game manager. Alex Smith made a career out of being a game manager with good head coaches. Harbaugh to Andy Reid, right? So I mean, this is what Mac is until the biggest knock on Smith when the game got closer, he couldn't do it because that's the way he was. Mac Jones has to prove it, has to get in the playoffs, win me a playoff game. I don't expect them to win the Super Bowl this year, but get in the playoffs, whether you're on the home or the road, go 1-1 in the playoffs. I expect them to lose at some point. I don't think they're the best. I think you could go on, you could beat Buffalo, maybe possibly Baltimore. I still like Lamar Jackson more right now than I do Mac Jones. Like, I don't think they're the best, but I think top 3, top 4, right? So it's wherever, like Buffalo, I don't think so. Tennessee, I don't. It's too close to call, honestly.
And I agree with you that there's going to come a point in time where Mac Jones is going to have to win them the game. It'll probably come this year at some point in time. And yeah, he's going to have to prove it. And if he doesn't and he makes me look like an idiot, then I'll say so. But I just think he'll be able to do it to the extent that they need.
You have to eat your shit pants underwear.
That's fine. The other point is, I don't think this defense will give up enough big plays. I don't think we'll see more than one more Dallas game this year. Maybe, I don't see the Bills beating them with big passing offense. That's all they I don't see it. Maybe the Chiefs, if they see them in the playoffs.
You know what scares me the most?
Beating them with big passing offense, and if you can't do that,
the Colts,
then I think the rest of the team is good enough to keep it tight. And I just trust the Patriots in that standpoint.
I don't think the Colts, boys. They're not going to beat you with big passing plays with the way Jonathan Taylor is playing right now. I mean, he had 185 yards, 5 touchdowns this weekend. You got a plan for him. Like, again, you want to talk about Carson Wentz can dink and dunk to Jonathan Taylor. He carried the ball 32 times. Is Jonathan
Taylor
improvement.
A difference maker in the way that Chubb would have been if he was on the Browns that day?
Yeah.
And what did we determine the score would have been against the?
Good point. Good point. No, good point.
I just think that's a similar comparison.
No, exactly.
The Browns are pretty similar comparison with the quarterback.
Because I mean, honestly, who do you like more, Nick Chubb or Jonathan Taylor? I mean, at this point, they're basically the same player. Nick Chubb got a little beat up. John Taylor gets nicked up here and there, and then Chubb got COVID. But Nick Chubb was number 2 in the NFL in rushing before he got beat up behind Derrick Henry, and now they're riding the hot hand in Indy with Taylor, and not the hot hand, but they're just riding him. I mean, Nick Chubb and Taylor are the same. Ooh, yeah.
Hey,
but they're the same player.
Yeah, it's close. That was good Patriots talk. We're late on that, so we're gonna leave it there. For the week, we'll be back with the Patriots after their Sunday night game against the Titans. But before we get
predictions.
You want to do predictions on?
No predictions. Fuck you.
Okay.
Save for the after show. Listen to the after show. We'll give you some predictions. And before we get into some quick Celtics and Bruins talk, we're going to kick it over to the headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you, Richard. The Patriots are back in first place in the AFC East for the first time in 2 years after their shutout win over the Falcons on Thursday Night Football. And the Bills shit the bed against the Colts. The Patriots are preparing for the number 1 seed against the Titans at home this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Cam Newton is back starting in the NFL, scoring touchdowns and celebrating by himself at midfield like an asshole. The Bruins split their weekends back-to-back with a 5-2 win over the Flyers on Saturday. Old friend Dan Vladar and the Flames shut out the Bruins on Sunday. The Bruins next take on the Sabres Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. The Celtics have won 7 of their last 10 and back-to-back wins over the Lakers, 130, 108, and 111, 105 over the Thunder on Saturday. They take on the Rockets Monday before an early season showdown versus Kevin Durant and the Nets on Wednesday. Jaylen Brown will play tonight against the Rockets. And the Red Sox exercise the option on Alex Cora's contract to keep him in Boston through 2024. Alex Cora is 284 and 202 in his last 3 seasons in Boston with a 17-8 record in the playoffs. This has been the headlines with the obvious one. And fuck you, Rich, for leaving shit out to try to fuck me up.
Welcome back. Good job, Ray. I knew when I was writing out the scores of the Celtics game, I put a dash, Bill, and I knew I should have put 2 because I knew he wouldn't read 132, 118 if it didn't actually say 2. He is fucking Ron Burgundy.
No, you didn't put who the Bruins are playing next.
Oh, what did I? Oh, I was supposed to.
You just put the Bruins next take on it. You left it blank. I'm like, you little fucking cunt.
Good for you for knowing. All right, we are a little bit late here, so we're going to cut these next 2 segments a little bit short. We'll let old Vacation Bill go off on his Bruins a little bit longer. Ray, we'll just talk some quick Celtics because they're actually playing well, and it's not as fun to talk about when they're playing well. But they crushed the Lakers, who fucking blow, by the way. Russell Westbrook is turning out to be one of the worst free agent signings. They almost blew a 20-point lead.
That was a free agent signing. That was a trade.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. And the Wizards look good with those fucking
number 1 in the East, right?
I think the Bulls are, but yeah, the Wizards are close.
Number 2 or 3, yeah.
Well, they were at 9-3. They were the number 1 team last week.
Yeah, the East is super crowded. I mean, the Celtics are 2 games away from 4th at this point, and everyone's kind of playing mediocre shit basketball. Including the almost blowing a 20-point lead to the Thunder on Saturday. However, I can see I'm not giving them a credit. I'm just telling you, I can see some slight improvement every other game or so with this team. They're moving the ball. Jason Tatum is hitting shots. I like the way Jason Tatum is playing for the most part. They still have their third quarters that kind of blow. Dennis Schroeder is on a heater. He's fucking killing it. And the bench is getting solid minutes out of Josh Richardson, and hopefully with Jaylen Brown back, Schroeder will go to the bench, and that'll be a good 1-2 punch.
Smart should really go to the bench. I really agree with you, but that won't happen. I like Schroeder.
He has a pussy pants. And by the way, Marcus Smart is playing his role, and he looks really good doing it, even if it's for $19 million, going in the paint, scoring 22 points.
Well, Ime can pick his pussy up off the ground, shove it back in his pants, and put Smart on the bench where he belongs, and have Schroeder start. Schroeder, again, I mean, he dominated the Lakers.
That's true.
I think
That was a prove-it game, though. That was a prove-it game because he was pissed that he didn't get the max contract.
They never offered it to him. Yeah, well,
he wanted it.
I'd take Russell Westbrook over Schroeder. I mean, on paper,
I don't know, $44 million a year for that guy. Raymond, your take on the Celtics is I may finally getting through to these guys to see an improvement, or is it just another false hope kind of run here for this team?
False hope kind of run for this team. I feel like it's gonna. Let's see what happens when Jaylen Brown gets back in the mix. Let's see how these guys coexist now. Let's see if the same ball movement. Let's see if the defense stays the way they've been. They've been playing great defense, which is an IMA thing. But yeah, let's just see what happens when they're all together. They're all back on the court. See if they can all coexist. I don't think they can. I don't think this team can coexist together.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Richard. Didn't Raymond say, with Jaylen Brown out, that this is a better Celtics team?
He did.
That's what I'm saying. So I would like to see what happens now when he's back in the mix.
He did.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see if they can kind of continue playing the way they're playing defensively. I don't see why they wouldn't be. Jaylen Brown's a good defender. He has a tendency to get lost sometimes and let guys go backdoor on him and shit like that. But offensively, yeah, is he a sticking point? And he has been in the past, but so is Jason Tatum, and he's learned to. If you've watched the actual games, Bill, I know you haven't. No, you're a hockey guy, and I've been as hard on Tatum as possible and tried to will into the ether for him to become an excellent player this year by showing him positivity. Quickly snap on that within the first 2 games, but his passing is pretty fucking good. He's had some dimes down low off double teams to Horford. And
did you see his dunk the other night?
I don't know.
On what was it, on Westbrook with the steal at the half court, and then he brought it down, made him one move and kind of dunked. You want to talk about passing? He had a guy cutting to the basket right there, made one move.
If you watch any NBA though, I've been watching a little bit more of off. Guys don't know how to pass the ball on fast breaks. Literally don't know how to book a bounce.
That was an easy layup, dude.
I can't believe some of the basketball I fucking watch. And these guys like, do you guys run a 3-on-1 fucking drill anymore? Just
that could have been a give and go. Like Tatum
knows what that means.
Tatum had to make a move, but he could have passed it. The defender would have curled back out, and it goes back to Tatum for an easy layup or dunk. Instead, he makes a fucking a higher impact play trying to go around the guy. Thankfully, he did, but still, it's like, yeah, you had a guy cut. I think Pritchard or some other. He's the only white guy I know on the Celtics, but he looked like he was going straight to the basket.
I think he's the only white guy, right?
Yeah, hopefully maybe this is again positivity into the universe that'll never happen, but hopefully this more physical league can maybe make players learn how to pass better again, because before that there was no motivation to pass the ball because you would go to the rim and you get a foul no matter what. Hopefully you get an N1 and get an extra point out of it. Now they're not calling as many of those, so maybe they learn to pass again, but I doubt it. Well, they got the Rockets tonight, and then on Wednesday, right?
Should be a win, and they're paying $44.1 million for John Wall never to step on the court again for this season and next. So good for you, Rockets.
Yeah, maybe not.
What are they sucking for? Is there like a next guy coming up?
No.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
What are they?
It's a guy's show. We're allowed to belch.
They're not good enough to compete, so they might as well suck again and get the next. Yeah, there's that 7-footer in Gonzaga.
Yeah, but is he a game changer?
They're calling him a unicorn. I don't know. The last unicorn turned into a rapist, Porzingis. So we'll see.
Yeah, you just go to Dallas and you're fine.
No problem.
Your career.
All right, we'll be.
I had a few Ray's mom's jokes thrown in there with the 7-footer, but I let it pass.
Well, good for you, Bill.
You're a good man, Bill.
Vacation Bill is growing, or he's getting slower.
It's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. He's trying to be nice.
We'll be right back with some Bruins talk right after this afternoon delight.
Afternoon.
I had that after lunch beers. Ray's mom.
What was his name?
Irene. And Big Ray Langevin. He watched.
Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Didn't want to stress the heart.
His pacemaker can't do that.
Ray mentioned it in the headlines. We mentioned it at the top. The Bruins lost in embarrassing fashion. Bill, your Bruins lost in embarrassing fashion, getting shut out by Dan Fladar, the guy they traded for a 3rd-round pick and went and signed this name is not mine, and I know that it's on mainstream kind of Boston sports talk, but Skid mark.
Skid mark?
Is just too good not to fucking use.
I think I texted that was my overtake. I was like, you let this guy go, and you kept skid mark for $5 million.
Skid mark's too good not to steal, so we'll use that. How big of a deal is it? So they got bigger problems, I think, than the goalie. However, spending $5 million on a backup goalie who stinks and isn't playing is a major fuck up. Bill, you've had the fire Don Sweeney take now here a couple times. I don't want to hear as much about that. More this season. Can they rebound? Can they? I know they're not going to be a top echelon team. We know that, but can they be another second round exit instead of a first round exit, or potentially miss the playoffs, which is what it looked like right now?
Yeah, it was a back-to-back game. You know, you played Saturday, played Sunday. You had a good 5-2 win on Saturday, which, you know, the corpse of Forbert with 2 goals, and then Nozick.
That guy has what, 4 or 5 goals in the season. Oh,
yeah, and then Nozick scored a goal. It was like they listened to me bitch about him for the last week and a half, and lo and behold, they start scoring. But I mean, I'll put it on that again. Olmark, yeah, you whiffed there at a $5 million backup, but you've seen Swayman kind of seize that number 1 role and has played kind of up to that level that he was playing last year. I mean, that's. You kind of dodged the bullet. I mean, I thought the best case scenario was, Swayman would be the guy, and you kind of bring him along slowly. But of course, you were going to start Allmark there. You weren't going to start Swayman on the back-to-back. The season's still young. And again, the schedule is so fucking stupid that you just didn't play a week, right? So you still got shitty legs on you on a back-to-back. I'm hoping that's what it is. I thought they showed a lot of life with the week break coming up on Saturday night with a big 5-2 win against Philadelphia, who I thought was Swayman's worst game of his career earlier on in the season. You came in, you really beat them up. And again, you're getting goals now. You got goals from 3 lines, and then forward had 2. So I mean, it is promising there too. So let's just chalk it up. Hopefully, it's a back-to-back. It seemed like a throwaway game. You've seen it, NBA on a getaway game, and again, back-to-back in hockey is a lot different than a lot of other sports with how much you're fucking beating yourself up. But Bruins still have holes. I mean, they're on the cups of a playoff team right now. I mean, but if Swayman can take off and be that young cheap goalie, and
I'll just say this the last piece on the goalie stuff is they got Tuukka Rask practicing at Warrior Ice. They've left the door open to re-sign him at a minimum deal, which I think they will. If that was the plan all along, then why not keep Vladar and Swayman here as 2? I know they didn't want 2 young goalies, and I get that.
You were going to lose Vladar either way because you couldn't send him to Providence. You'd have to clear waivers. That was the big reason you moved him, and I understand you want to get
because of the expansion draft. You think?
No, they kept him on. They held him for expansion. They protected him. Why don't
you think that they could have kept him?
Because
they could have kept them both on the Bruins roster.
Yeah, but
you can't send him down to Providence. So if you brought up Tuukka Rask, you would have lost him through.
Because you're not gonna. You're gonna.
Then you trade him then. But my point is, look, if they have that much foresight and you have 2 young goalies and both are showing out, then you get more than a 3rd round pick anyway later on in the season with a team that's maybe challenging and needs goalie help. That they fucked up. A $5 million backup goalie who sucks is not the move when you had 2 young goalies that you were investing in and aspiring in. And Swayman looked like the guy even after 6 starts, and Vladar looked like a dead fish in the bubble playoffs, but he had promise, and now he's got 4 fucking shutouts. So clearly he was pretty good. Let's just call it what it is. They fucked up this goalie situation, and they're running out of fuck ups as a team, as a management.
Fired Don Sweeney.
Fired Don Sweeney.
That's why it comes back full circle. Fired Don Sweeney.
There you go. Last point in this, Raymond. Bruins coach Bruce Cassidy is not blaming, but telling us that the schedule is an issue. It is a lot of turnover on this team. They signed a lot of guys. They brought in a lot of guys at the deadline. Do you give that any credence? And I'll give you just a quote here from Bruce Cassidy. I think we have an identity, but we're still working on it to be the team every single night, Cassidy said. Some of that is turnover. Don't forget, we brought in 3 guys at the deadline last year that you're just putting in the lineup, and let's go get ready for the playoffs. Now we're doing a little more teaching. So hockey's a big chemistry sport. Do you give a little bit of leeway there for the Bruins only playing like a 1/3 of the amount of games other guys have and having a lot of new guys?
No, I totally agree. And I'll bring it back to a football point because the Patriots looked like shit, looked like a dead team walking beginning of the season. They needed chemistry. They had a bunch of new guys. They needed to know their roles and figure out and gel and have the chemistry. That's what the Bruins need to do. And they have the most fucked up schedule I've ever seen in any pro sports because they just play weekends pretty much right now. This is the first time they played a Wednesday game and I think all year.
Yeah, they have the least amount of games in the NHL right now.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. So yeah, obviously you're gonna have a chemistry issue. Let's see what happens come after the new year. See what they look like then.
Yeah, they are only 2 points behind the wild card spot with 3 games in hand. So, well, it's just a little bit frustrating to see from the goalie position. And okay, but we'll see how they do. Before we close it up, Ray, I know MLS playoffs start. Do you have are starting? Do you have anything to say?
They already started.
Okay, this has been the Simple Mind Sports Show, Fat Tuesday edition.
Wait, they started?
23rd. Happy Thanksgiving, Ray.
New York FC next week.
This is why no one gives a shit about soccer. You don't even know when they start. Bye.
Bye-bye. Happy Thanksgiving. Patriots 28, Titans 13.
He's gone full swing on the Patriots.
I was thinking 28-14, but 21-17 Patriots.
So you were thinking 28-13 or 28-14, which is a 2-touchdown game, and now you're just going to a 4-point game.
No, 24-17 because they're going to cover the spread. 5.5.
See what you did there.
I'm going to go 30-17 Patriots.
Dude, Ryan Tannehill, you know that was Tannehill's first 4 interception game of his career. I think he's had like 121 starts. That boggled my mind for how shitty of a quarterback he's been for his whole entire career, except for the last 2 years. Like 4 interceptions, I thought would have been a given for him, but no, it was his first game, and I think it all came in the last 4 drives. What an idiot!
He sucks. Can I give you a reason why I think it's going to be that high scoring? Belichick is out for blood, and the last time Vrabel played him, he embarrassed him.
Not only that, was that last year, right? Remember they
played
2
years ago.
We played that trick on not the trick,
yeah,
but like
no, he played the rule where
the
they
clock,
kept taking penalties to burn the clock. A very Belichick thing to do, and you know that chaps Bill's ass. So
kept declining him.
Even if this game is 4 minutes left and the Patriots are up 24-17, like 13, they're going to go for blood. They're going to go all the way. Mac Jones will not sit in this game. They will score and score and score and score as much as they possibly can. And if you put that ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands to come back, watch out. Watch out, J.C. Jackson. And with AJ Brown, we just saw it. They lost to the fucking Texans.
He's so good, and he cannot stay healthy.
The team's coming back. This is not the type of scenario that a good team comes back and plays better because they lost it. You lost to the worst team in the conference, basically, and you're broken physically, and you're going into New England against a guy that wants to burn you to the ground. I don't look at that as a bounce back game for the Titans. I think they're walking into a bear trap. And
I told you, I think they're beating the Titans. I think they're going to beat the Colts. And I thought 2-2 realistically, because I thought the Bills are going to sweep you, but just the way the Bills are playing, they've lost 3 out of 5, if I'm not mistaken. And
3-1 realistically. Dude, let's go.
Not even that. I mean, the way
you think it's going to be a sweep?
I don't want to sound like a homer, but the way the Patriots are playing compared to the rest of the AFC East and these other 2 teams, the only team that really scares me right now, based off this past weekend, would be the Colts. But you're a one-trick pony in Taylor, and I think if you could find a way to shut down Taylor, I know it's a tall feat, but you have been stopping the run. You can. The path is there. The path is there to win out.
You know who they're going to lose to? I can guarantee you.
Miami.
I was going to say Jacksonville.
I bet you they lose to fucking Miami.
But tell me the path isn't there to win out.
It's there. I think the Bills, as much as they've struggled offensively, defensively,
they still scare me.
They're still,
but not as much as the Colts, just because of Taylor.
I mean, Diggs can get loose on you, and you can give up something there. But I think Bills had Josh Allen's number. I don't think that Josh Allen is great against zone, which the Patriots have been playing great lately. Not to mention Matthew fucking Judon might be the defensive player of the year. So
Buffalo can't run the ball. Buffalo can't run the ball to save their life either. Like
no one. Zach Moss.
You look at the running teams. I mean, Jacksonville. No, they have Robinson, Gesicki, or whatever his name is. Gaskins, Miles Gaskins, I think, is the running back in Miami, and then again
Gesicki
Taylor
and Gaskins. Nice job, Bill. You really
I got them both right. Gesicki's the tight end.
Yeah,
that's what you were saying. That's what I call Thursdays.
No. But Gesicki. Yeah,
get sucking. Yeah, no, it'll be. I just don't.
That's what I call dessert on Thanksgiving.
Gobble
I
gobble.
didn't think against the Titans, like you just pack the box and make Ryan Tannehill beat you. And what playmakers do they have that can?
You don't even need to pack the box.
Secondary.
Who they got for running backs? The corpse of Adrian Peterson and Dante Foreman.
Who's that? McKinnon's?
He was out this week. Johnny McNichols.
McNichols.
Mix? There's a couple of mix.
Can't hear you, Richard.
It's like
Good one. I like it.
couldn't tell Bill was waiting to fall for it. Walked you into that little trap.
Well, I am the dumb one of the group.
How those lunch beers, Bill? Falling out your
That's
eyes
great.
yet?
No, not yet. Now I'm having dinner beers.
The Queen does eat at 5 p.m.
No, Queen eats at fucking 9.
Well, if you're out early enough, you get the early bird special.
Yeah, follow my
You
jokes here,
fuck.
Ray.
Sorry.
Jesus, even I
Queen
knew
eats
where
when the Queen
even
wants
I
to
knew where he was going.
Did you get a haircut, Richard?
Yeah.
Looks great.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Nice.
I'm not totally preparing for my February cut because I still believe Queen Bill is at the bottom of that.
Oh, let's go, Tom Brady. Let's go, Brady.
He needs a big buck win. I mean, even that, it'll bring him a game back. Not worried.
No. Not even.
3, right? I'll gain 3 on you, something like that, right?
If Tampa Bay wins tonight, yes, he would.
Damn it, go on, Tampa.
I don't
By 11. What's the spread? 11, 12?
11.
You see the games I put on this week?
Yes, Bill. We did.
Week 12, worst games of the week.
Those are some shitty fucking teams.
You're welcome.